Welcome back to the channel. All right, Purgatory's buff is live. It's time for the spicy meter on this buff, and she's great. She's very good. There's actually a ton of utility and damage wrapped into a pretty simple kit. They did a phenomenal job with this. I really am a big fan. Now I'm going to jump in and start showing you fights. As you know, we're going to go over the signature ability, how to play her, SB1, SB2, what she's all about. We're going to place her on the initial tier list. But I think the best way to do it is just go ahead and show you. We're going to show two of the shorter fights. This is on the CCB server. This is a rank 5 ascended 6-star champion. Now, she's all about quite a few things. Usually I like to tell you the one thing she's about. But the one thing that we're going to talk about right now, and just so you can kind of get an idea, it is this demonic rampage. You can see it in the upper left-hand corner. It is the passive gray. You're getting that every time you combo and every time you well-timed block. You can just play her very, very simply. When that's also going to grant you power. You see all those power passes. When that gets up to 100, that counter, we're going to get into demonic rampage. That's the big thing. That's the damage. That's the thing you're really wanting, right? Once you get up to 100, you're going to gain a massive attack rating. They have it listed as 3,880 for the 6-star rank 5, and her special attacks are going to gain enhancements. I'll show you those later, but you can see we're just going straight for the SB2. You're going to see it's going to be unblockable. Because of that, it's applying that massive, massive degen, which is enhanced by the attack rating increase, and that fight is already over. I didn't even have time to fully explain all the things, but there you got it, right? We're just going to 5-hit combo over and over. Every hit is giving us the bloodthirst. Then we're going to get into our demonic rampage. That's her big damage phase. And then every time we're costing bar of power, you can see that neutralize up there on Drax. Watch, we're going to get another one here. When you get 10 of those, you get up to 100% neutralize. It only goes up to 100. I think that's important to remind people of. That's still very, very powerful though. But you're going to get that going as well. And then your special one on activation can grant you 25 of the bloodthirst. But as you can see, I'm not going to it. I found going straight to SB2 was significantly better for me. I was getting to the rampage anyway. And then the special 2, last hit inflicts that big degen that we've already talked about, paired nicely with the Ghost Rider Relic. And then that attack is passively unblockable when you're in your rampage. Now, she's also all about these souls. And don't worry, I'm not going to show you the whole thing. No one wants to watch all around Love Legends, okay? I get that. That's fine. But it's also a really great place to show you what this means. So you're going to go up against a skill champion. Let's go ahead and take a look at this. When a personal debuff on the opponent ends or is prevented from activating, you're going to inflict a slow. Now, it's a personal debuff. So when you parry, that's not going to happen. That's right. That is from your masteries. But when you end a combo in a medium, when you are in your rampage, you're going to place an incinerate. It's also going to like drain or take away 50% of your power. I'm going to show you a really cool way to use that to your advantage later in this. But you can see we've got that incinerate, and when that goes away, it has now become a passive slow. This is passive, can't be shrugged. Love this. This is massive utility to have on a Mystic champion. I know Sorcerer Supreme's got a slow, Dragonan's got a slow. They're both actives, and the damage capabilities are significantly better with this champion. And okay, so now we're going on. You see that, and here's the thing: you can capture those souls. So we're going to take those forward. We talked about, and I'll go over more on how to ensure you capture all of them. But basically, let's just go through this. I'll talk about that later. So now we're at Cosmic. When filling a bar of power, you're going to nullify one of the opponent's buffs. When an opponent's buff is nullified or prevented by the neutralize, remember, that's going to keep getting stronger too, and I'll show you that happening. You're going to get an unblockable buff. This one's interesting. I think there's going to be fights, especially where you fight an opponent who has more buffs and you're positive that it's going to happen, where you can get the unblockable. But reason I showed that and just sped it up was twofold. One, we did that in only 48 seconds. I think that's important for you to know. But two is there never was a buff to be nullified or neutralized. It never came up. So we never went actively unblockable. All the unblockables you saw were from the SP2 because we were in the Rampage. A passively unblockable special 2. Really, really nice. Again, I'm going to show you a fight where we're going to put that all together. Really can use that to your advantage. Now we're going into this fight against Juggernaut, a Mystic champion, right? And we keep capturing these souls, so we keep taking them along with us into the next fights. When the opponent launches a special attack, gains 60% block regen. This is familiar, like Kushala's got a mechanic like this, Sorcerer Supreme does. Can really be some nice healing, right? She's not Wolverine, but it's not bad. But I want to have shown you this fight for a few seconds, but I want you to see this. We're going to have all of these things occur at once. When he throws his special, right, he should go unstoppable. You see the call out for the buff. However, it's already been neutralized. We got very lucky because we only have a 20% neutralize up, but it was neutralized, causing us to go unblockable because we have the Cosmic Soul. And then because we're fighting the Mystic Champion, you can see the regen now on us as well. It was just a really cool thing that happened just by playing the game. 5-hit combos, parries, special 2, big damage, showing you really quickly. And the science, they don't have souls, they're chemically tainted. I like that they went into that, right, with the whole thing, the whole storyline, all that. Now we're going to the mutant. I will say, in my opinion, this one feels like the one you really want. This is the big one, because not only is it hurtful to the mutants wanting to throw their specials and all the damage and all that, but it's also giving you more power, right? You're throwing more of your specials. You're in your rampage. You're rampaging. You're doing damage. You're having a good time. At the end of the opponent's special attacks, you're going to power steal 40% of their remaining power, gaining 100% of the power stolen over 4 seconds. This is also going to tie into the signature ability. Don't worry, we will talk about that. But here's what I wanted to show you. So Storm, I want her to throw her power, right? Because we're going to steal a bunch of this. You see that happen, right? The power stolen. It's going up to us. And I want to show you this because a lot of people say this is a big negative, is it pushed us to our special 3. And I was like, wait a minute, I think there's a thing here. Remember I said, when you're in your rampage, when you end a combo in a medium, you're going to place an incinerate. And it's going to, like, I don't remember the correct term, but it basically takes away 50% of your power. So what you can do is you can end a combo in a medium. It's going to drain your power or take your power. Watch this. We've been pushed red. I'm going to end a combo in a medium, let that go down, and then your special 2, because you're in rampage, passively unblockable. That's a really, really cool thing. Like, we've seen this sort of mechanic in other champions where you have to heavy to throw the special 3 or whatever. It's a little different with her, but she has that similar protection from being forced to your special 3, which is great for a champion who you're often running Mystic Dispersion and you're often not wanting to be pushed to your special 3 because you want that damage off the special 2. Really, really loved that. Now we're going in, we're fighting the tech champion. When filling a bar of power, inflict an armor break debuff, reducing armor rating by 875. You've seen enough of these fights now. You're seeing how much she's filling a bar of power, how those armor breaks can go. And now we are all ramped up, right? We've finished all those fights. Like I said, I'm going to ask you to watch all of that because I want you to see the really cool stuff here. We're going to go in, we're going to fight Wolverine and then Black Bolt. So we've got it all. We're all powered up. We've got the souls of every class. Watch the damage capabilities of this. All the debuffs we're going to place as soon as we go over 1 bar of power. We have like 2 unblockable buffs. Why? Who the hell knows? But we will use them. We'll go for it. Look at the armor breaks that are on her. We've got a 40% neutralize up now as well too, plus the massive degen. And you can see how our power is just cycling. Like, this is why I said, I don't worry about the special 1. If I really needed it for some reason, God, I don't know, for a heal or something like that, fine. But you want that special 2, and her kit is made to help you throw those special 2s. I think threw 4 or 5 specials in a very, very short period of time here. He was trying to heal. He does only have about 400,000 health, but in 36 seconds, gone, dusted like it was nothing. And she doesn't have heal reversal or anything like that. Now this Black Bolt, I think has 550,000, not healing, but 550,000. We're keeping all those souls, so we have all those benefits. You see them right there, right? Now we're just going to go into it. We're 5-hit comboing. We're getting plenty of power. You can see the power right there in the upper left-hand corner, right? And we're going to go into our rampage. I get the terms confused a little bit, but that's fine. We're going into our rampage because we're either nullified or neutralized a buff. We are double unblockable, we're double buff unblockable, we're passively unblockable. All the good things are happening. We have the nice big buff. And this Black Bolt is basically dead. He's basically dead. The unblockable there, it's really, really nice. This ties in a little bit to the signature ability, which we'll talk about as soon as this fight is over. But this was 550,000 health. He's not healing. And we absolutely destroyed it. If he had had more buffs and Mystic Dispersion had kicked in more, something like that, I showed you the trick. You know how to get yourself off the special 3 if that's not what you want to throw. Let's check out her signature ability and then place her on the tier list. Okay, her signature ability, we're going to talk about that and recoil friendliness. Really quick, recoil friendly, I don't think so. For me, she's not poison immune. She is incinerate immune, which is great. There's a really great synergy with the hood, which will make her bleed immune, and I think him bleed immune too. So you could, in theory, but then you're going to probably wanting to throw the SP1, which is healing back off of the damage done, but then you're not throwing your special 2. I just honestly, maybe for a fight or 2 for something on a quest if you really want to, but in general, I would not consider her recoil friendly. That's also her main synergy that I would talk about. So we've talked about synergies now as well. Now her signature ability, which is why you're here. If the opponent is knocked out while demonic rampage is active, this soul is instantly captured. I think that's really nice because, otherwise you have 2 other ways to capture the soul, meaning take it into other fights as you go along. One is if you get your neutralized all the way up to 10. Well, that might not always happen. I mean, it frequently does. You're often throwing those specials. You're getting those bars of power. So you're thinking it's going to happen, but you might not want to rely on that for sure. The other way to capture the soul is if the opponent is knocked out by a special attack. So you do have 2 ways to get the soul without the signature ability, but personally, I've rated her in this with her signature ability. I think she's great without it, but I think this is a really nice benefit. And when I rated her and put her in the tier list, I considered her being awakened. The other part is the scaling part. The duration of class soul abilities are increased by 35%. That's really nice, right? If you go back and you look at all the soul abilities, they all had time durations. It was really nice. Again, another nice fix by Kabam to really consider, like, what are we going for? What are we doing here? How do we make her make sense? Now, they're only increased by 35%. And like the Mystic one lasts for 6 seconds. The Cosmic Souls, the Unblockable, lasts for 2. But you saw me also sometimes taking advantage of that Unblockable as far as using my Striker or something like that. So I think you want this. I think this is a champion that you're maybe not using your 7-star Awakening gem on, at least not in today's current game, right? Right now, 7-star Awakening gems, we've had like 1, I believe, maybe 2, and they definitely weren't generic. Your 6-star, I think go for it. Have a great time. But if you do get her awakened, you're not upset about it. And then every single level you get more, you're not upset about it because it is providing a benefit and adding new and better ways to play her more fluidly and just really enjoy the flow on this champion. All right, let's go ahead and talk about her on the initial placement for the tier list. All right, here's where we're placing her on the initial tier list. She comes up right here, and I'll tell you, I found myself wanting to give her another point so that we could push her into the Scorching tier because, in my opinion, that's where she's going to end up. I think we're going to see some phenomenal things with her in various questing contents. The fact that she can power up so much on her own, she doesn't need a synergy or anything like that, and that she's so good out of the gate. The only reason why she's where she's at is because I talked to a lot of the war planners in the Illuminati about this one because she was interesting for me to think about in war, and they pointed out that she's going to have that great synergy with Hood. We've already mentioned that. It's going to provide bleed immunity. She's already got Incinerate. Plus, if you take out a skill champion, you're now getting the passive slow. Potentially, this is like a bullseye counter. If you've taken out a mutant champion, you're feeling very good about possibly taking out Serpent. Her neutralize does get up to 100% relatively easy just by playing her. So she's obviously a good Serpent counter to just out of the box there as well. And then you saw the damage. The damage does not appear to be an issue in any way, shape, or form. She's really well made. I showed you how to stay off the SP3 if you do find yourself getting pushed to it. So none of that is an issue. And so war, she seems good. She's going to have value. It's almost certain. Battlegrounds, the speed and the amount of attackers that she can take or defenders that she can take. I think if you've pulled like a 7-star or if you're at a place where you're taking 6-star rank 5s and ascending, I think she's probably going to be relatively versatile for you, right? Especially because we said that the mutant class is one of her stronger ones. So you might be able to take her against some mutant champions. You've got some cosmic champions. And I believe Grass, MCoC Grass, has been showing off Purgatory in Battlegrounds as well. And then as far as her general score, right? Like we think of this more of like the questing. We talk about the flow, the meta score, her toolkit, basically, like how many abilities are in there. She scores exceptionally well. And in all of these, I could see a point or two being added. I just want to see it. I just want to see it. When I put her on the tier list, this is me. We always start a little bit conservatively. There's no way in heck I see her moving down. She is not moving down anytime soon. This is a quality buff. You see how good the champions are in her tier. And I very much think, especially once we see her as a 7-star, you're going to see her in that Scorching tier. You're going to see the eye-popping stuff happen. I just want to see it first before we place her there. As usual, let me know what we think we got right. Let me know what we think we got wrong. Hopefully you're enjoying your buff Purgatory. Thank you so much for watching. Take care.